We're just connecting.
So it's live now?
Yeah, we are. I'm just going to give everybody 30 seconds or so to connect.
Sure.
I can see people joining, so we'll just we'll give it a 30 seconds or so. But good morning, good afternoon to anybody who's already on here. We'll just allow people to connect. Great, there's people joining. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to give it another few seconds, and then I'll just make an introduction to the topic, and then hand straight over to Dr. Rossi. But we'll give it a few more seconds there, Pekka.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us for the second half of the day. We're coming back in with a presentation from Vaisala. I'm sure many of you are familiar with these guys, but I won't do the introductions too much. I will hand over, but I want to just quickly introduce you to Dr. Pekka Rossi, the application manager at Vaisala Weather Radars. Dr. Rossi, over to you. I'll let you introduce the topic. People don't want to hear from me, they want to hear from you. So I will turn my camera and microphone off, and the floor is yours when you're ready.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. And as said, I'm Pekka Rossi, application manager for Vaisala Weather Radar product line and remote sensing product line. And in this presentation, I will be discussing the value of integrated remote sensing solution in high impact, intense weather monitoring applications. So before we go deeper into individual remote sensing instruments and how they can be integrated with each other, let's take a quick look at the general value of remote sensing in high impact weather monitoring. And I would like to refer to this recent study by UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction that shows quite good summary of economic losses caused by different natural disaster. And if we take a look at the graph that is from this study on the right hand side, we can actually see that the majority of these losses are caused by different weather related events such as storms and flooding. And of course, this is not a surprise if we think the nature of these events, such as high winds and intense precipitation rainfall caused by tropical storms or intense convective weather. But what is really relevant from the viewpoint of this presentation is that remote sensing instruments and remote sensing such as weather radars, lightning detection systems, and weather satellites, they really play an essential role in the detection of the majority of these natural disasters that cause economic losses, so the weather-related natural disasters. So what makes remote sensing then so valuable in high impact weather monitoring? So obviously many remote sensing instruments such as weather radars and lightning detection systems, they provide large coverage. They also provide high resolution and fast update cycle. So for example, in the context of weather radars and lightning detection systems, this means that you can detect many weather events even before they approach your area of interest. Also, many of the events are very large in size, so you can detect weather events at multiple scales, such as tropical storms with remote sensing. Also, some of the phenomena such as local thunderstorms, they are very localized and they have a very short life cycle. For example, individual convective storm may have a life cycle of a few tens of minutes only and an impact area of a few kilometers only, but still it can produce significant damage at the ground level. And remote sensing with high resolution is very useful to capture these events. Many of the remote sensing instruments are also very versatile, so they can identify and measure different characteristics of intense weather. For example, weather radars, they can be used to quantify precipitation amounts at the ground level. Then lightning detection systems can be used to identify and characterize severe convective weather. And then you can use, for example, a combination of weather radars and scanning Doppler lidars to see intense winds inside high impact weather events. And then thirdly and finally, instruments, remote sensing instruments allow you to see not only the present situation, but you can use them for predicting the future. That is referred to as nowcasting. So being able to see not only the present state of the weather, but also to predict the weather ahead in time. Here is an example of different remote sensing instruments that play really essential role in the detection of high impact weather. So obviously, for example, weather radars are one of the most important instruments that can be used to detect high impact weather. Then we can have lightning detection systems, as already mentioned before. Weather satellites are really important to detect high impact weather on a global scale, but then also some instruments such as scanning Doppler lidars that may not have that large coverage, but still can be very useful in characterizing, for example, intense winds together with weather radars and other remote sensing instruments in high impact weather situations. Let's take a look at the individual remote sensing instruments that were listed on the previous slide. So obviously weather radars, as said, are probably one of the most important remote sensing instruments that can be used to characterize and monitor high impact weather. And weather radars are instruments that are very useful, especially in the detection of precipitation-related weather events. For example, intense tropical storms, intense rainfall cases, and intense convective storms. For that purpose, Vaisala has two main product categories. So we have Vaisala WRK 200 dual polarization C-band weather radars that are very useful, for example, in the long-range weather detection, or when you are building up a national weather radar network covering the entire country. And then in addition to that, we have a new product, a modern Vaisala WRS400 X-band dual polarization weather radar that uses a modern solid-state transmitter technology. And this is something that is complementary to our C-band offering and C-band radars in general. So you can use the X-band weather radar, for example, in the applications such as gap filling, or filling the gaps in your C-band weather radar network, or you can improve your hydrological applications by having an X-band weather radar close to your area of interest, and improve urban flood monitoring and nowcasting applications as well. Then lightning detection networks and lightning detection systems, and why lightning detection is important is that many high impact weather involves convective activity with lightning, and this is something where the lightning detection becomes very important, obviously. And for that purpose, we have two main lightning detection solutions available at Vaisala. So Vaisala GLD 360 Global Lightning Detection Network, that is a service provided by Vaisala. So we own the network and provide the data as a service. And it's the best global lightning detection, long-range lightning detection system available on the market that can detect 100% of thunderstorms, and also provides very high cloud to ground flash detection efficiency and accuracy for individual lightning flashes as well. And then for those customers who want to get even more precise information and who want to operate the lightning detection network on their own, we have Vaisala Precision Networks with Vaisala LS7002 lightning detection sensor that offers even higher data accuracy and detection efficiency than that in GLD 360. Doppler lidars are also something that can be used to supplement weather radar information, lightning detection information, and this is something that is extremely useful when you want to characterize and identify high winds in high impact weather situation, and is useful in detecting high winds, especially in clear air conditions, and therefore it's very useful to to supplement or complement weather radars that can detect winds inside precipitation. And of course, in addition to that application, there are many other applications that can benefit from LiDAR information as listed here. Nowcasting is of course an important point when we talk about remote sensing. As mentioned in the beginning, you can use a remote sensing not only to see the present state, but also to predict the time ahead as well. So this is obviously very important application as well. And we have at Vaisala, we have also nowcasting solutions available for automatic nowcasting for both weather radar information and lightning detection information as well. Okay. Well, I've been discussing about the individual instruments itself, and of course the quality and performance of individual instruments is extremely important, and this is something that is core competence of Vaisala. But then also, in addition to the quality and performance of individual instruments, you need to be able to integrate the data seamlessly. So this is as important as the performance of individual instruments as well. And then in addition to integration, you need also good quality software to analyze your data, because the software is that's kind of the main interface between the end user and the data, and without proper software tools, also the data is useless itself. Here is an example what the integration of different instruments could mean. So in Vaisala system, you could have, for example, integrated weather radars and lightning detection networks brought to the same platform and integrated together with each other. And obviously such integration, it brings significant added value to the end user, for example, in the context of improved overall situational awareness and decision making. The benefit is of course significant. For example, when you want to extend the coverage, you can have multiple weather radars, extend the coverage, and you can have lightning detection systems to extend the coverage. And then also you can improve the quality of information in the area where different instruments overlap. On the following slide, I have an example what the integrated information could mean. So for example, here we have a lightning overlay on top of weather radar information. The best value of information is obviously reached when data from both systems are brought together in the same platform. So the weather radar information provides, for example, information on the extent and the coverage of this severe storm case. And then if you add a lightning layer on top of that, you can use lightning information to really verify that this storm is truly severe. So that is the one example of the benefit. On the following slide, I have an example of the satellite information. This example is from EUMETSAT, using the EUMETSAT public WMS feed. And if the customer has a satellite data available in a suitable format, we can overlay it with weather radar information and lightning detection information. And for example, in this example, we can see how well the lightning information from Vaisala GLD 360 follows the most intense cloud tops. As mentioned, the software is important, and this is something that is the main interface between the end user and weather information. And for that purpose, we have a Vaisala Iris focused remote sensing software available. That is a web-based application. It means that the software, you don't need any dedicated client software installed on your computer. You can just use a standard web browser. And of course, most importantly, in the context of this presentation, it allows smooth integration of different remote sensing data. So all of the examples that you saw on the previous slides, they were from the web-based Iris-focused software. So you can have lightning data, radar data, satellite data, and data even from scanning Doppler lidars in the same system. All right, I think I am almost in the end of the time, so this is just a quick summary, but I don't know if we have time for any questions. So in that case, I think I will skip the summary and Luke, do we have time for any questions?
Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, please do put them in the Q&A. Alternatively, firstly, Becca, thank you so much for that. It's always enjoy a Vaisala presentation. It's always insightful and very clear. But what I would recommend from here to the audience, excuse me, I had something over my camera. What I'd recommend here from the audience is to make your way. We have another session coming up next, but after that or in between sessions, there's a remote sensing tab, and you can find Vaisala's virtual booth in there. From there, you'll be able to find Pekka, and you'll be able to message directly and have a dialogue. You know, they've got a lot to offer, and so I'd really recommend doing that. But that is all we've got time for, I'm afraid. But Pekka, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate your time. Appreciate everybody who's attending, and we'll see you in the next session. And again, do visit the Vaisala virtual booth. You'll like what you see. But thanks again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.